Hey people, I'm doing a video on magnetizing a, whatever this thing is called. I just had it, now I don't. The DreadKnight, yeah, DreadKnight DreadKnight. So here's all the pieces. They've all been cleaned. I'm gonna start putting it together, and then kind of give you guys some different looks through the process. Hope you enjoy. Guys, here's the model assembled. Well, mostly assembled. Wanted to show you kind of what I had. Where I've put pieces and how I've cut stuff so that I can magnetize. Okay, so I've got the sword and the hammer here, and because this inside of the hand here comes in limited amount. There's only 2 of them for the right hand, so that means you can't be like, okay, I'm going to magnetize just here at the wrist for the hammer, the sword, and the open fist, or closed fist, whatever. So instead, the way to magnetize it is you magnetize, you take the sword hand, because it's got a more, I think, a more cool hilt, longer haft there, and you chop off the hammer right above where it's got the hilt going on its shindig, and then you just chop the sword right here, same place, right? Then what we'll do is we'll put a magnet in here and a magnet in the top of this guy, and that will magnetize for either option. And then a magnet in the wrist so that you can either have the fist or the sword or hammer. And then we have the arms here, and so this guy right here, obviously I just glued his fist in, but this one I left open so that you can stick a magnet. We'll sink a magnet in there and it will hold in there, so that's where you can click one or the other options. Glue the wrist guard on, and then what we do is I'm going to put a magnet in here, and maybe a magnet in the bottom. I haven't decided yet. Sometimes I've done it with magnet in the bottom, sometimes I haven't. I kind of want to see how it fits with just the one, and then use this guy. That's obviously being the piece that goes on there. It'll clicks in. It clicks in, and it has a little. Usually, like I've already clipped it off, but usually it has a little rounded piece in there, so you can click it into this gap here, this rounded gap here, and it will hold. It will kind of hold on there, but not quite well enough that I'd feel comfortable just not actually having a magnet on there. So usually, what you'll do is I'll put a magnet in the top, and then maybe we'll put one on the bottom. It depends on how much the magnetization ends up pulling it in. Like, one of the problems I've had in the past is that it kind of pulls it in and then makes it pull up at an angle, so that this part of it is actually sticking up from down here. But I would prefer not to actually put a magnet here, because my preference would be to leave this nice and good looking, so that if somebody doesn't actually want to bring a weapon on that arm, they can have this iconography with the sword and stuff look good here. So we'll see how that goes when I get to magnetizing it, and I'll let you guys know. So then that's basically it. Both arms are kind of like that, and then of course you've got this sword option stuff here, and then you've got the different weapon options for the tips, right? So 2 of them these two come with a solid piece that we can just put a magnet in. The third guy doesn't. He's hollow all the way through. So what I've done in this case is I've used my accelerant, my glue accelerant, and just stuck a bunch of super glue in there and accelerated it to make myself a solid piece, and then shaved it off, so that I can just now drill in and sink a magnet or 2 in there to keep it nice, keep it in there nice. That's a quick and dirty way to do it. You can also throw some green stuff or putty in there, just wait for it to dry, and then cut it off flat, nice and clean. Either way will work, but that's a good solid way to put a magnet in there, so that then it will sit on this guy okay, just fine when we decide to magnetize. it. Now, obviously, right now it's not going to fit in there the same. Probably going to end up shaving this down and then just floating the magnet on top on this guy, because it will sit in here on this side, so it's not going to be a whole lot of friction or movement from side to side, which is usually what the problem is when you leave a magnet kind of floating on something. Any side to side movement or friction like that is what's going to break the magnet off. and that's why sinking a magnet is always better, because it's or preferable, because it's more likely to have less friction. Haven't put the arms on the guy yet, because what I wanted to do was actually glue these arms on first and then match the arms afterwards, so it makes it look like he's actually, you know, when I move my arm, the robot suit that I'm in moves its arms. Finally, with these things, what I do is I don't actually glue this part in. It snaps in nice and well and will stay. And then what I'll do is I'll once I've got figured out how these things are going to sit on there and where they're going to sit in comparison to the arm, what I'll do is I'll try to glue it right here, and then in such a way that it can either do this thing where it's supposed to sit in here, sit on there in that little hole there like this, or sit on top with the other piece that will go on top. So it would sit on here, if that makes sense. Just in there, right there. So I'm going to magnetize it and then go through what I've done and show you guys how that works. Guys, finished product here. Model put together. Not put on the base yet because I'm going to do some base work for it. But he is put together. Like I said, these guys are free flowing still, so they can kind of move back and forth a little bit, side to side a little bit, back and forth, up and down. Got them lined up so that they'll fit here in the hole when I have the gun mount on the arm. Here is the arm. I went ahead and magnetized it twice, so to get it to sink down real good right here on the top. Maybe too much, so I can't show you very well. Here we go. So right here. So left this hole or the rounded peg there in the bottom hole, magnet there, and then I did a magnet here on the bottom in front, corresponding magnets on the arm, so one right here and then one right there, so that you can magnetize them together. Hold on just a second. Okay, so as I was saying, it fits in two magnets, one to really hold it in place, which is the one in the back, and then one which will really sink it in to the front, so it sticks together real well. So I've got both the arms done there. Now I went ahead and glued the flamer mounts on this one, and then the kind of the ammo belt feeds on the other. So people can, the player could have either one be the option, and then they're magnetized to sync up and hold the piece, and just like so. And here's the other one. This is the one that had the mount here, and actually I'm gonna have to sync this guy a little bit better, because he is sticking out there a little bit, because I did, like I said, leave this magnet out here in the front so it had some better suction to the guys who are sitting in, but would still, you know, not be hanging out there like that. If you can see there, it's kind of indented there. So I'm going to have to do the same thing with this one that I had to put the glue in. And then here's the one for the flamer. Or if you wanted to have both other options, then you could choose one of them to have the flamer back. It wouldn't look too out of place, I don't think. And then here is the arm. And I have it magnetized for the hammer here. Turn our hammer around. So here's our hammer, or our sword. So there's the sword. Okay. And then of course I've got a fist going, and they will magnetize up to this arm here. So you'll get to put it on there and choose. I'm going to fix that other magnet for you guys and then show you that real quick. Okay, so I got that set up. So here is that magnet sunk in. I'll stick that guy on there. So he's nice and sunk in now, no gap at all. and actually had it on there the right way. If you notice how they kind of hang off on the bottom, that's when because it's when they're on the arm it looks even. So that's all set up. Then I have this is the magnet I didn't show you before, where the hand is now magnetized onto the arm there, or the hand is magnetized on the arm there, and you can either have the hammer, or we can change out to the sword. Bloop. And magnetize that on, or change out to the open fist on that thing. There we go. So, and there's your options. Let's see if I can get this on there one-handed. Show you guys. It's a little bit of a. I had a buddy. One of my buddies saw the video. And was like, "Yeah, you need to probably get a tripod." And I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right. I need to get a tripod." So I'm gonna get a junk. I'm gonna get a tripod, and we'll see if that makes it easier to do this stuff here, where I'm trying to one hand put this stuff on. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video and found it kind of educational, and maybe gave you some pointers on magnetizing your own guy sometime in the future, if you were so inclined to do that. So there you go. That's how you magnetize a DreadKnight, and yep, just like so. Thanks for watching.